Hey, what's up everybody? Today I am coming to you from the small shop at my house. And if you follow my channel, the last few weeks I have been trying to do a weekly update on the projects in the shop. So this week will be no exception. However, I wanted to jump on here real quick and just give you guys a heads up. The footage in the video that I have for this past week, I have it pretty much edited and it's ready to go. However, one of the days I worked on a car that is going to SEMA. With that being said, the footage that is there, I want to wait until the car makes its debut roughly Wednesday before I release that video. So, with that being said, I want to try to stay on a weekly release. I have some old footage of the '68 Mustang and some of the work that I did to fit the engine and some of the work around the chassis and suspension. So I'm going to roll that footage and let you guys watch it. So hopefully you guys will enjoy what I've put together, and be looking Wednesday of this next week, be looking for the weekly update video. Additionally, I'll throw this out there, and I do somewhat mention it in the video that I did do a lot of footage. I have a considerable amount of footage from the visit at the Manx house, and I plan on putting that together as a separate video. I may wait on that because I had talked to them. They may film some stuff while they are in SEMA, and we might combine that and make a video to release. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoy what I've done, and we'll see you guys after bit. Hello everybody, it's Steve here, and I'm back in the shop today, and as you can see behind me, I've got the Roadster shop. This is the spec chassis that we bought for the '68 Mustang. In the last video you guys saw, I tore basically got the body stripped down, got it in the rotisserie. Well, we've sent it out and it is being sandblasted as we speak. When it gets back, I'm gonna have to get some epoxy primer on it, but I've been kind of holding off on this thing. This chassis, as you can see, is bare steel, and it's a very humid day today. And the more I touch this chassis and the more I start working on this car, this thing is gonna rust and it's gonna look horrible. So I have some cheap etching primer. I think I'm gonna tear this thing down and I'm gonna put this etching primer on all of these parts. Now, you can buy this chassis pre-powder coated, and I've got some footage that I'm getting ready to play, and I'm glad I didn't do that because when we set the engine in, you'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm gonna get set up and we're gonna start tearing this thing apart. Let all these cars go by. Now that we have the bodies situated and I know which one we're going to use, the next thing I have to do to it, we'll end up running it down the street to the sandblaster. So while we wait for that thing to come back from sandblasting, I think I'm going to mock up the chassis. As I said in an earlier video, this is a Roadster shop spec chassis. Very, very beautiful piece of artwork. And I have sitting over here the 5.2 Predator, which I've shown in previous videos. Additionally, I've got a Gearstar 6R80 transmission that's sitting over here. So I'm going to attempt to set the engine down in to make sure we don't have any clearance issues. I have to get some hardware and some bolts and stuff before I can actually set the transmission down. But for now, I think I'm going to try to get the engine mocked up so that way when the body does get back, before I start doing a lot of additional cutting to the body, I want to set that body down on this chassis. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do next. right, so we ran into our first couple of roadblocks yesterday. So basically the first was what we thought was the oil filter adapter that's on the engine. We actually thought was going to hit the frame rail, and it turns out I think that's going to clearance. However, I did make a couple of phone calls yesterday, one to Ford Performance Group to talk to them about that and the flex plate on this thing. But I think this is going to clear, and we're going to try it again. But we may end up putting a relocation kit on the actual oil filter assembly. So the second thing is on the chassis. I ordered this chassis from the Roadster shop. Basically, I ordered it for this engine, the 5.2 Predator. And as we were setting the engine down and trying to get the other bolt in, we noticed that the oil pan was going to hit the center of this cross member. So once again, I jumped on the phone, talked to those folks, great group of people up there to work with. They thought that there was a carbon fiber or a different option for the oil pan, and basically what it is the motor mounts they've changed to go to the Predator, which lifts the engine a little bit. So when you lift the engine a little bit, it's going to give you complications elsewhere, such as hood clearance. So basically, they gave me the okay to cut on this rather beautiful chassis. So today I'm going to end up notching this out just a little bit more and reboxing this thing. So I'm going to get this up next. So hopefully we can get the engine and transmission set in this thing. So anyway, I'm going to get set up and I'll see you in just a bit. Okay, I figured I'd go ahead and pull the brake lines. They were gonna have to come off anyway because I still need to do something with this chassis to keep it from rusting. I went ahead and I put some spark paper here, and once again, this is mainly just to keep me, because I'm gonna be wallering around all around up here, and it's very hot and muggy today, so I don't want this thing to get completely rusted. So anyway, I may end up, like I said way earlier, I probably need to take this thing apart and go ahead and just put some real cheap spray paint on it just to keep it from rusting. So this, however, is definitely one of those areas where I am glad that I did not order this chassis powder coated, because if this chassis was already powder coated and I have to make this modification, this would have been a bad deal. So anyway, I think what I'm gonna do, I've got this kind of marked out here. I drew around the oil pan when we had the engine set in here. And basically, I'm just gonna come in here and I'm gonna make this thing to where it's an even cut. So I'm gonna study this just a little bit and see. I don't know whether or not I want to try to cut these corners out or just make a whole new box piece. But anyway, I'm gonna get this laid out and I'm gonna start cutting this thing and hopefully get this boxed in, and then we can set the engine back down in it. Now that I have the notch cut in the frame, I'm gonna set the engine back in and let's see, hopefully, if everything goes right, hopefully it fits in, and then I'll start boxing. Not as in boxing, but boxing the frame. Attitude stands up tall with the wind in her face, saying, boyfriend, that way. Well, it is in there, and it is all there. And if we look, I think we have enough clearance around the oil filter that I think it might be okay. The gap down there on this side of the oil pan, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's honestly, I probably need to open this side up another 1/2 inch, which is an easy fix. That's why I wanted to set it in here before I boxed it. And I might go ahead and take the front forward another quarter as well. So anyway, that's how these things go. Like I said, I can't stress it enough. I'm very glad that I didn't have this thing powder coated, because we'd be cutting off some powder coating right now. So I've got to get the right flex plate, the bell housing bolts, and the cross member bolts, and then we can pre-fit the transmission. So I'm going to keep hammering on it. So we'll see you guys in just a bit. So I got the front suspension removed, and one of the neat things is actually these frame pockets work pretty good to hold my tools. So anyway, I got the front end completely taken apart. I've got it all stacked over here on the table. There's some stuff that I'm probably gonna end up doing to some of these parts. And then I actually might send some of this stuff on down and have it powder coated. So anyway, what's up next is I probably will, Hey, I'm over here. All right, I know, it's a 68 Charger, so it's pretty cool. I said the other day, it's pretty cool, some of the stuff that I get to work on, and that's another one of those cool cars that I get to work on. But anyway, hey, back to the chassis. So anyway, let's try to stay focused here. So I'm gonna go ahead, and up next is I'm going to start pulling the rear suspension apart, and I may go ahead and actually take the rear end apart, because like I said, some of this stuff might go ahead, and I might go ahead and send it down and have some of the powder coating done ahead of time. So anyway, I'm gonna get set up and pull the rear. So as you can see, I got the chassis completely stripped. I went ahead and I just flipped it upside down, and I put some cardboard down on my frame table, and I've just got this thing setting here so I don't get this primer all over my table. Basically, all I'm gonna do on this phase is I'm just gonna wipe it down with that wax and grease remover, and then I've got some Krylon. This is etching primer. It came from a wholesale place here locally. So for the most part, I just wanna get some color on here, just something to protect the metal, that way it doesn't rust. At the end of the day, this chassis will be sent down the road. It'll be powder coated, sandblasted and powder coated, a shiny gloss finish. So anyway, unless you like to watch paint dry, I probably won't film this. So I'm gonna get it primered and then I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna do the other side and then I'm going to basically, at that point, I'm going to fasten this chassis down to the table. So anyway, I'll see you guys shortly. We'll start here in the front. I have the laser on still, and as you can see, I've marked the chassis and the square tubes. I've got centerline markings on those. So I have the chassis pretty straight. I've got a couple of marks up there. See if you can see that one. And once again, there's one more back there. So I have this centered up, and the biggest reason is just in case I need to reference anything as this body goes together, then I'm in good shape to where I've got a good center line to where nothing's questioned. So also, as you can see, the pipe, I've got those welded in. They're tacked in about 3 or 4 spots on the square tube. The square tubing is actually bolted to this center runner. So this thing is very sturdy. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. And I'm at the point now where I think I've got this fastened down secure enough to where I'm gonna come in the morning. My day's starting to get used up. So I'm gonna come in the morning and I'm gonna try to get get the body off the rotisserie, and we're gonna bring, hopefully, this spec chassis, and we're gonna make the two together. So anyway, you guys have a great evening. I'll see you back here in the morning. Hey, welcome back. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that footage of the 68 Mustang. So just to FYI, there will be a lot more to come on that car in the coming weeks. So I'm going to work on the old blue car for a little bit this afternoon, and I'm going to leave this video. I'm going to pretty much roll this one up, and I want to, before I go, I want to thank you guys for following the channel. If it's once again your first time to find this channel, hey, I appreciate you guys viewing this, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll keep trying to bring you guys good content as this channel grows. So I'm going to leave it with you, and as I always tell you guys, besides thank you for watching, I hope to see you on the next one.